feel like it's so weird. Time goes by so fast. It's been like 3 months, 4 months. I don't know, but who cares? I'm not really concerned about that. This is just for fun or whatever. But I wanted to take the time to really like, the past few months have been so crazy, and it's so interesting how life will just throw things at us. At me, life has just thrown things at me in ways that I would have never like imagined. And so I remember a few months ago I detached from like my career with aesthetics, and I was like, God, if this is for me, you'll make a way, and if not, like, that's fine too. I'm just gonna stay here and just serve, and I'm just here, okay, is what I was doing. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm making money, this is great, I'm learning things, and I worked with this, and I don't want to say the company's name just yet because I don't know, but I worked here as a server for almost a year. Like I've been working with them for almost a year, and I was a bartender, server, and oh my gosh, I have learned how to separate my personal life and business life in a very harsh way. I've also learned, like, you cannot trust everyone. Like, I'm such a, like, let's talk about all the things and let's just go have coffee together. And like, I had no knowledge of how to separate my work life and my personal life. Like, I wanted to be friends with everyone at work, and it was like the most difficult lesson I had to learn. And it was weird because it's like, there's things that you have to work on, but it's like, is it really something I need to work on? Is this really a problem? I don't think it's a problem. And like all the things, I swear, like all the big things, like God was telling me, like, girl, like we need to fix this. We can't keep doing this. Like all of the top list, like the things on his list saying, girl, you need to work on these, like were all thrown at me, I feel, in the span of like 3 to 4 months, because oh my gosh, that it's been just crazy. And so yeah, that happened, and I completely like surrendered, and I was like, God, you know what, you're right, I'm sorry for all the things and whatever. And so anyways, I was in a point in my job where I was just not happy, and I was like, man, like, I don't want to keep forcing this. I don't want to force anything in my life. Like, this isn't working out for me, and it's so weird. And I was like, God, like, please, I want to get out of this. Like, please, God, like, help me figure this out. And this lady, I swear, I feel like God sends people in our lives that are like secretly angels, and this lady represented that. Like, she like looked at me and she's like, what's your name? What are you doing here? And I was just like, is this like, it's just one of those like weird divine interactions. And if this is all spiritual, deep stuff, but she was like, you don't look like you should be working here. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're very smart. You have this light about you. You should, like, if you're working here, you should be a manager. And she was like, this isn't the place for you. Like, you deserve more than this. And she's like, what else do you do? And I was like, well, I'm also an esthetician, but I haven't been doing that for a few months. She's like, and she like was like, there's this girl I know, she's hiring, she's looking for an esthetician, like, you should call her, apply, like, call her. And so I ended up calling her, and we set up an interview, and that was a whole like 3-week process. And she called me, and okay, so it was interesting because like the week that things started to get really crazy at my job, I was like not being treated very well at my job. And so I was like, God, this is just too much to handle. I need to get out of here. Like, I need to start applying, looking for different jobs. Like, you know, you will make a way. And so it's interesting because that week that I was like struggling, I ended up like getting fired from that location and got moved to a different location. But anyways, in that process, that girl, the lady, or the woman I had reached out to get like to look into like the job because she's looking for a person for her business, she reached out to me for a second interview. And in the second interview, she hired me like on the spot. And I was just like, God, this is you. Like, this is all you, like ordained by you. And I believe in like the angel numbers, and it just was like all aligning. And I was like kind of nervous that I wouldn't get the job, and because she was interviewing other people and I like wasn't in the game for a few months, and like she would ask me, do you know this, do you know how to do this? And I'm like, no, but I'm like willing to learn. So I'm like, I probably won't get it, we'll see. But like, I don't know, deep down I was like, I felt like confirmation that it was gonna be okay and that I'd be getting the job. Not trying to like be all cocky, but yeah, she ended up telling me like, yeah, let's go forward with, you know, you training and getting you set up and, you know, all the things. So it just worked out. And I love that she's like a more local business owner, because like it's not like a big franchise, it's like more intimate. I enjoy that. And she like it's just so cute. I'm just like so excited because it just is like working out, and it's just like kind of everything I dreamed for as an esthetician, to be working in like as like a small like a small business, and having my own area, like my own room to do my services in, that I can call mine, and like just like growing my clientele and like doing what I love to do. Like, I love this industry, and like I didn't want my past experience to take me away from that. And so I'm really happy that I'm in this predicament. Like, I'm happy that I'm back into the aesthetics world and like able to like start building that, and you know, get the ball rolling. And so I don't know, I guess right now I did just now, like I'm literally in the parking lot of my job because today's gonna be my last day working here, and I was like super anxious about making the decisions, kind of like when you want to leave and you're like, should I leave, is this the right decision? Like I started like really questioning all these things, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is so bad. And so I called my dad and I was like, Dad, please help, like help me. And he's like, girl, I love calling him because he's so good at like he's my dad, he knows me, he's like, girl, you better start, because like I think a lot of it was like self-doubt, and yeah, like a lot of it was self-doubt, like what if I can't, what if I like what, like he's like, girl, start believing in yourself. And like this is just, I think a part of me has always been afraid to fail. And I think like my dad was telling me, he's like, there's no such thing as failing. And I'm like, huh? Like, if you think about it, there is no such thing as failing. Why? Because everyone in their life has failed. And it's up to us to decide whether we're gonna let life beat us down, which, you know, in my case was my thoughts, my anxiety, my whatever, you know, like I don't even want to claim these things, but like just the thoughts and the feelings that I was having, like, am I gonna let that beat me down, or am I going to fight? Am I gonna fight back and say, no, I deserve the good things in life, I deserve to make it in life, I deserve to be successful, I deserve all the things that I envision for myself, and I'm determined, and I will have the ambition and the drive to do whatever it takes to get there. And that's literally, and you know what's crazy is that even though with where I work at now, or whatever you want to call it, with the place that I've been employed at for the past year, even though like there was so many moments where my emotions and how I felt were very uncomfortable, I learned so much than I have ever learned in any other place about myself, about others, and how I can like take all the things, the beautiful things that I've learned to help me grow. Really, because that's all that matters, right? And to take that into the next chapter and like use those skills to be and become all the things that I want to become. And it's just so amazing to like know that I went through that, and to say that like I'm proud to be able to like let this place go and just keep going forward, because it's scary to like lose a job that you're comfortable in being in. Like, you know, you're comfortable with the pay, you're comfortable with, you know, the schedule, you're comfortable with being uncomfortable.